Here are the top 5 best US crypto exchanges to buy any meme coin, altcoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, whichever coin you want. Here are the best choices with the lowest fees. The first exchange on our list here has a 9.8 rating. It is the best overall exchange for anything you want to do. And in fact, you can get up to $200 of free crypto by going over to matscrypto.com/Coinbase. Coinbase is the best platform in the world. It's the best crypto exchange to buy any coin you want to or sell any coin you want to and trade any coin on the platform for any amount. It's literally that easy. Now, in addition to that great offer, they have some of the better fees right here. So you can see they have 0.4 to 0.6% fees for low volume trades, meaning that if you trade below $10,000 in volume each month, you're going to pay anywhere from 0.4 to 0.6%. If you are a higher volume trader, meaning you trade $10,000 to $50,000 a month in coins, you're going to pay 0.25% up to 0.4%. Now, the difference in price here is whether or not you take or make a trade. So for example, if you listed your coins available to sell for a certain price, that is a maker. But if you took someone else's listing and you bought their coins or you sold your coins to someone else's listing, you're going to pay the higher fee, which is a taker fee. More often than not, you can select to just do the lower fee and your price will only execute if you have someone that takes your deal. But as long as you're putting the price somewhere near the market value, you will get that lower fee. So for the sake of this video, basically look at the lower number because more times than not, you can get the lower number on all of these trading percentages. Now, Coinbase boasts over 240 different cryptocurrencies. If you go over to their website here, you can see these are all of the assets they have listed. They have 18,000 different coins on the platform. But when you go to the tradable amount, actually, I'm wrong. They've updated it. 286 tradable coins. We got to go ahead and update this. 286 coins. They've added 46 more coins since I put together the information for this video, which is incredible. And it just shows you that they are adding a lot of new coins each day as big new meme coins come out. For example, if we were to go over and look at Pengu, I believe they just listed Pengu over here. Pudgy Penguins, there you go. But as you can see here, there are 286 different tokens you can trade. A lot of these ones on page 10 right now are much smaller coins that most of us have never even heard of. And that just goes to show you that there's a lot of variety in terms of the coins you can potentially get access to on Coinbase. You can see right here, Coinbase.com also has easy funding options. You can use Apple Pay, you can use a debit card, you can use PayPal, you can use your bank. All those different options are available on Coinbase to easily purchase different coins. Now, even though Coinbase is great, it does have one con, and that is that if you are a small volume trader, you are probably going to pay a little more expensive fees than you would pay on other sites that we'll talk about later in this video. That's the only reason I give it a 9.8, because again, if you are someone trading a very small amount of coins, you're going to pay that 0.6% fee as the base fee. And as you'll see right here, the ones below it are actually almost all cheaper, right? 0.4%. This one's also 0.6%. But other than that, it is one of the higher costs for very low volume traders. Now, once you get up to this higher amount here, it's in line with the other different sites. So that is something to keep in mind. But realistically, even at that 0.6%, if you were to trade $100 worth of Bitcoin or something else, you're going to be paying cents, literally less than $1 to trade that $100. So it's really not that much. It'd be 60 cents for that $100 at this higher price. If you were to pay the lower price for the maker fee, it'd be 40 cents for every $100 that you trade. And then as you trade more, it will become less and less of a percentage. But that is the only real knock I have on Coinbase. It is super secure. It is well trusted. It's a publicly traded company. It's been around for the longest out of all of these. So there's really nothing for me bad to say about Coinbase because I've been using it so long and it's been so great the entire time. The whole industry loves Coinbase and there's a reason why. The number 2 exchange is a 9.4 rating and it's best for the lowest trading fees or some of the lower trading fees. You can see right here, it actually has the same amount of fees that it does for high volume traders on Coinbase. So if you are a low volume trader, you might want to look at this site if you don't want to spend the extra 20 cents on your $100 purchase. Now, for the most part, you're going to want to use Coinbase because it's much easier and it's much more convenient. But this site is Kraken. Kraken is another really highly trustworthy, very secure crypto exchange. It's been around for quite some time. It's very accessible to US folks. A lot of these other sites are international as well, but they are not as good for US customers because they don't provide as many coins availability and they actually have a couple states you can't use them in. Now, one of Kraken's main drawdowns is actually that you can't use it in Washington, Maine, or New York as of right now. Probably a lot of you watching from New York, you're going to need to use Coinbase and you're going to actually want to use Coinbase no matter what, whether you're in New York or somewhere else. One of the things I do like about Kraken is it does have futures and margin trading. Now, Coinbase also has futures trading. If you go back over to Coinbase and we go to the advanced section right here, you're going to see right here we have derivatives, which is relatively new on Coinbase. So if you want to get into the more advanced trading section, you can toggle on this advanced section right here on Coinbase. If you want to have the basic version of Coinbase, you just turn off the advanced. You can do the same thing on the mobile app's basic version. But if you want to trade futures on Coinbase, you have to go to the advanced version. Now, for Kraken, this is one of the pros that it had earlier than Coinbase, but realistically, Coinbase also has futures now. So this is not really a big pro for Kraken over all the other ones, but it does have the best low volume trading fee out of most of these sites. And it is the most trustworthy in comparison to these other places that we could go for low cost on low volume trading. Now, Kraken also has been adding a lot of new coins recently. A lot of the new meme coins that have come out, they've put on their site relatively quick. So they actually have over 400 tradable cryptocurrencies as of now. So one of the main things I would say instead of the futures or the margins trading is that they have a lot of coins added each week. So they really do have a lot of coin availability. They also do have high deposit and withdrawal limits. If you are willing to do a higher verification system, submitting your license and verifying your identity, you'll be able to withdraw or deposit a significant amount more than you might be able to on other sites. Coinbase also allows you to do a high amount of deposit or withdrawal, but I have used Kraken before to withdraw a significant amount of money, and I can say with confidence they deposited the money to my bank account very fast. I was able to withdraw it and get it deposited to my bank within 48 hours, which was honestly really nice. When it's a huge amount of money like that and you're withdrawing it, you want to see that it gets to your bank account relatively quick and safely, and I can say with confidence that Kraken does deliver on that. So that is a really big perk if you're someone who's doing higher volume trading or you have a lot more funds in there. You want to make sure you can get from place to place pretty quickly and safely. So outside of it being unavailable in 3 US states, I think Kraken's also a really great bet for one of the top places you could buy or sell cryptocurrency. Now, you're not going to get that $200 of free crypto on Kraken, but I do have a link down below that if you want to check it out, you can go and use my sign up link down below. The third best crypto exchange in the US is a 9.1 rating, and it is actually best for both stocks and crypto. See if you can guess which one I'm talking about in the comments down below before I reveal it to you. Now, these are variable because technically they are free trades. There are no costs on each trade in terms of a percentage commission that the site will take from the trade. However, they do have spread fees, meaning that the price of the coin that you're buying may not be exactly the market rate. If you were to buy on Coinbase and buy on this site, which is going to be Robinhood, at the same time, they will probably have different prices. That's because Robinhood's going to charge you by making the price of the coin a little bit higher, but you won't pay a commission on it. It's a spread fee. So that's really where your costs are going to come in terms of trading. It's hard to know exactly what those compare like against Coinbase or Kraken. You don't really know what you're paying exactly. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to have to put variable because I just don't know. Now, one thing that Robinhood's also done recently has added more coins to their cryptocurrency side of their platform. And I will say that Robinhood is probably the best financial app that I've used and continue to use every single day. It's really, really good. So if you want to trade crypto and you want to trade stocks, Robinhood may be the best pick for you. If you only want to have one app, you can do all of it in. Now, the big outlier here is that it has a lot less coins than Coinbase and Kraken. Let's go and see how many coins Robinhood has now that we've updated this chart. Last time it was 20 coins on Robinhood. This time I'm going to guess it's somewhere more around 40. So as you can see right here, I'm over on the Robinhood mobile app, and you can see that there are 26 items in the crypto list. They've most recently added things like Pepe, official Trump coin. They've added Bonk. They've added Dog with Hat, Pudgy Penguins, Popcat, and most recently they've added Peanut the Squirrel. I don't know why they added Peanut because I've already talked about this in other videos. Peanut the Squirrel is a meme that's going to die and never come back, unfortunately. But they have added it. So they are adding new coins frequently, and they've started to ramp up that process. Now, even though they only have 26 coins available to trade as of today, I do believe over the next several months and years, we're going to see a lot more coins coming onto Robinhood and available to trade alongside stocks on the platform. So if you are someone who wants to do both crypto and stock trading, this is now an acceptable place to do so. That's because you can actually take the coins you own on here and move them to another wallet on the blockchain. Previously, in recent years, you weren't able to do that, and so I had Robinhood ranked a lot lower on this chart. In fact, I had it ranked about a 7.7. But because they have added a lot of these features, they are really trying to expand crypto, and they allow you to actually move your coins onto the blockchain on your own custodial wallet. I have ranked them much higher because I do think they are going to become a major player in the space. So as we can see, the pros are they have a great app, and if you go over to mattscrypto.com/stocks, you're actually going to get one free stock for signing up for Robinhood. If you don't have a Robinhood account, you can go over and make one right now. It's, again, the best app I've used for stocks and crypto, period, and you get a free stock as soon as you sign up. Again, mattscrypto.com/stocks, link down below. Now, I also already mentioned you can transfer the coins off the platform, which is a really big deal. You couldn't do that before, and that's why I didn't like Robinhood. But now that you can do that, I do think they are definitely taking steps to be better with the blockchain and actually being crypto savvy as a company. Now, some of the cons for Robinhood, as you can see, there was not very many altcoin options. When looking at Coinbase and Kraken compared to Robinhood, you have more than 100 times more coins on Coinbase and almost 200 times more coins available on Kraken than you do on Robinhood. So right now, if you wanted to trade any kind of alt or bunch of different alts and meme coins, you may not have the availability to do that on Robinhood. So all the coins we talked about, and I just showed you a couple seconds ago, were the coins you can actually buy on there right now. And sometimes spreads can be rough. It's very hard to know exactly what you're paying in terms of fees on Robinhood because they use spreads. So if you're not a big trader, if you're going to buy and hold for a long time, then these spread fees really don't matter that much. In fact, all of these volume and fee amounts don't matter that much in the long term unless you're trading a lot of volume. But if you are someone who trades a lot of volume, or you trade frequently, or you're trying to, trade from 10 to 20 or frequently along the course of months or weeks, then those spreads could impact you a lot more. And that's something to be aware of if you are going to use Robinhood. All right, the number 4 overall exchange is a 9.0. It's just below Robinhood in terms of ranking. It is best for security and very experienced traders. You can see right here, the volume fees for the low end are actually the lowest we've seen so far, 0.2 to 0.4%. And for the high end are definitely the best on this sheet, 0.1 to 0.3%. Now, unfortunately, they only have 70 coins as of the last time of looking at them. This is Gemini. Gemini is founded by the Winklevoss twins. They've been in crypto for as long as anyone else has, from a very long time ago. You can see they are available in every US state. This is one of the only platforms outside of Coinbase that's available in every US state, including New York. New York is very tough to get the license to have a regulated crypto exchange in that state. So if you are a New York user, you're going to want to use Coinbase first. And if you don't like Coinbase or you prefer to use Gemini, you can go and use Gemini as well. They have a really strong security system. The way that they hold all the cryptocurrency they have available on their exchange is top notch. And I would say that they have a pretty good mobile app as well. Now, the one major downside to Gemini is it has significantly fewer coins available than other exchanges. In fact, I even saw them on Twitter recently. They still have not listed Cardano ADA. ADA is a pretty large cryptocurrency. In fact, ADA is even listed on Robinhood, and Robinhood only has a third of the coins that Gemini does. So they have yet to list a lot of major coins. They probably have reasoning for doing that, but if you are someone who wants to trade those coins or have availability of a lot of different coins to look at, Gemini might not be the best pick for you. Now, going and updating this, they have a couple more coins than they did last time we looked at this chart, but it's still not anything significant. They have about 80 to 90 coins totally available on the platform to trade. So the major con is definitely going to be that they have less coins available than the competitors. And for that reason, you are going to have a lower rating overall, because having access to those coins is a big deal. If you become someone who wants to trade a lot of different coins, the difference in the trading fees is not really going to offset the amount of coins you have available. And so we also have these two that have been around for a long time and really have a strong user base, as opposed to Gemini, which is a much smaller exchange. Even though it has a lot going for it and it has great trading fees, the lower amount of coins is going to deter a lot of users. And so until they add a lot of the more major coins like Cardano, these higher market cap coins, they should have them on the platform. Until they do that, it's hard for me to rank them above a 9.0. If they were to go and add 100 of these other coins and get close to the amount of coins that Coinbase has, then you could see them go up to something like a 9.5 in my opinion. They'd be right up there with Kraken, somewhere around that mark. The number 5 crypto exchange is an 8.6 rating, and it's best for crypto rewards. Now, it does have a 0.4% fee, which is basically the same as Coinbase on both the high and low volume, and they do have a significant amount of coins. It might be over 400 coins by this point, 350 coins as of the last time of looking at this. They do have really great sign-up bonuses. They do have some really cool benefits for Crow holders, and at this point, you might be able to guess it. It is crypto.com. This is not a US-based exchange. They are a Singaporean-based exchange that is available in the US, and I think their biggest thing they have going for them is that they have a lot of coins available, and they do have a lot of cool rewards if you are an active user of the platform and you hold the token Crow, which is crypto.com's native token. Now, the only thing I don't like about this platform is that they don't have as good of a sign-up offer as Coinbase. So one of their main pros is that they have really cool reward systems, but they still get dwarfed by the fact that you can get up to $200 of free crypto just by going over to matscrypto.com/Coinbase right now. So even though those are some cool features that they have, I still strongly prefer Coinbase, and you can actually get a lot more of a great bonus sign-up offer right now than you can get on crypto.com, which is kind of crazy when this is their whole shtick. But that's why they're ranked a little bit lower. They're an 8.6 instead of a 9 or higher. They do have some transaction fees for withdrawals to US dollar and other fiat currencies, and they are also not available in New York like some of these other ones like Kraken. So if you are in New York, again, you can't even use this one. So you're going to basically be going right back to Coinbase anyway. I've actually never used crypto.com crypto.com as a main source of buying and selling any crypto. I have heard some good things. I've heard some bad things. This is the Crow token, and as you can see, it's not doing very well. In the last year, it's down 34%. A lot of coins are not doing very well right now, but this is something you could partake in if you wanted to have that experience of some really cool rewards. They have credit cards. You can also use a crypto.com that have bonuses. So you can check out all that stuff if you want to on crypto.com, but I personally would prefer to use any 4 of these over crypto.com, and specifically I would use any of these 3 over crypto.com every single time. The final 4 crypto exchanges we have here are all a little bit different. We'll reveal them to you real quick. MoonPay is a really good option if you wanted to use a credit card to purchase cryptocurrency. You can do that on MoonPay. I'll leave a link down below. It's probably the only one on this list that I know of that you can use a credit card to purchase crypto with. It is very easy and very convenient, and it has a bunch of traditional payment methods. You can even use Venmo to pay for cryptocurrency. The only thing here that MoonPay doesn't do well with is it does cost more for that convenience. So if you're going to use a bank, it's 1%, which is higher than all these other ones. Credit cards, 4.5%. You can see compared to these other exchanges, that 4.5% is a really, really high percentage price compared to other exchanges anyway. But it is a lot more convenient, right? If you want to buy cryptocurrency using a credit card, you don't have to actually pay that credit card off for a bit, but you can buy that crypto right now. It is super convenient to do that, but they do charge you a premium for that convenience. PayPal, same thing, 3.4% is definitely higher than these other options. However, using Venmo, again, is a very cool and convenient way to buy crypto that's not available on almost all these other platforms. You can use PayPal on Coinbase. So if you were going to use PayPal, I wouldn't use MoonPay, I'd use Coinbase. But this is another option if you wanted to buy things on the go, or wanted to buy a little bit here or there, or buy a present for someone, or you wanted to buy it under a company credit card. Like, there are different options you can have with MoonPay that you just don't get with these other exchanges. So I wanted to add that on here. Now, obviously, the con is that it's got very high fees for that convenience, like we said. Binance US was gone for a while. The last video I made on this 6 months ago, Binance US was still shut down. The US, that you couldn't withdraw your currency to a bank. You couldn't put a bank money into Binance US. You could only buy and sell and exchange coins from exchange to another exchange or to a wallet. So realistically, you couldn't off-ramp or on-ramp onto this exchange if you were in the US. That was a huge problem because it basically made the entire site useless for a lot of US users. The same thing was with KuCoin. You couldn't use it for fiat trading. You couldn't put US dollars on, you couldn't take US dollars off. So it was a real pain in the butt to use these because you basically had to go to another exchange just to get your money off. So what's the point of using 2 exchanges? You might as well just use the other one, period. But now Binance US has actually gotten things back under control. The SEC has changed with the new administration, and you are able to go ahead and fund your account with USD and take USD off of it now. So I actually don't have any cons for Binance US because they did remove that problem or that issue with US users using USD. Now it is Binance US because it is a stripped down version of Binance. US users can't use the full Binance platform. But if you are going to use Binance US, I think the only real reason I would use it right now, because it does have the same exact fees that Coinbase does, and Coinbase is much better. It's never had the issue with the US and the US dollars and the SEC. So I would be a little bit less trustworthy of Binance at this point. But the best thing about this is they do allow free Bitcoin trades. So if you are someone who wants to trade Bitcoin exclusively or is trading a very large amount of Bitcoin, right? If you're going to sell all your Bitcoin and, take home a huge amount of US dollars, it might make some sense to go over to Binance.us and trade it on here for free. Because as you can see again here, USD is back. This feature will be soon available to all customers. So as soon as they start opening up the USD off and on ramp again, you can trade your Bitcoin here, sell it, and then take your US dollars and put it in your bank account once that's available once again on Binance. And that could be a really valuable way to save some money, because if you used any of these other sites, right, let's just say you sold $50,000 worth of Bitcoin. $50,000 times that 0.4% is going to be $200 in fees to trade your $50,000 of Bitcoin. As where if you used Binance and you traded Bitcoin for free, it would be $0. So you'd save $200 in trading that $50,000 of Bitcoin on Binance US versus something else like Coinbase or Kraken or even Gemini. So that is something to consider if you are going to trade exclusively Bitcoin and it's a large amount, then it might be worth using Binance US. They also do have discounts for the BNB coin. So if you use BNB to pay for your trade fees, you'll get a 5% discount off of all of the current rates that they have listed. So this one's good, but I would be a little bit cautious because it's freshly off of that SEC issue. I want to see that they're up and operating for a little bit before I trust Binance US again, because you don't want to get stuck where you can't take your US dollars off of there. You wouldn't be stuck entirely. You just have to take your Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever coin you have, send it to another exchange, and then sell it on another exchange to get your US dollars. But again, that defeats the whole purpose of using Binance US in the first place, because you might as well just use another one like Coinbase at that point if you're gonna have to send it to that, other exchange anyway. So So I would only use Binance US in a little bit if you're trading Bitcoin. That's my personal opinion, but you can check it out if you want to. Now, KuCoin is purely for super small alts. At this point, I almost think it's not worth using KuCoin because you could just use a decentralized exchange like Uniswap or Jupiter if you're on Solana, or something on Base if you're going to use Base Chain. You could also use Uniswap for Base. But there are a lot of DEXs that'll actually do a better job than KuCoin would. And since you can't actually take your money off or put it onto KuCoin if you're in the US with US dollars, you're better off just using an exchange anyway that's decentralized, because KuCoin is just a pain in the butt at this point. eToro, I have it on here every time because it is a US exchange. I wouldn't even consider it. It is got the highest fees. It's got the least amount of coins. It's not available in 5 US states. You can't trade crypto to crypto, and it's just not really worth it unless you are a boomer and just have no idea how this works, which you're probably not watching this video if you're one of those people anyway. So there you go. My number one overall pick is again Coinbase. I highly recommend Kraken. I think Robinhood's the easiest app to use out of all these. It also has stocks, so it's also very good for that, and I think it's going to get a lot better with crypto over the next couple years. Gemini and Crypto.com are also available options if you want to. If you want convenience, go MoonPay. If you want to get free Bitcoin trades, go to Binance once that's available again. But again, if you want to get up to $200 of free crypto, go to matchcrypto.com/Coinbase. Get yourself up to $200 of free crypto by trading any coin after you sign up for an account, and use the best overall exchange in the world. It is number one and it's not close. So I would definitely recommend Coinbase. Out of all these, if you're going to pick just one, that's the one to go to. Before you head out, go over and watch this video right here because there's a lot more good info in here on how to make up to $100 a day on Coinbase.